couple of seconds while people are jumping on. So hopefully everybody is having a good evening. If any of y'all are East Coasters, I hope you are staying out of this day gone hurricane's way. She is set to hit land, it looks like Thursday. And y'all, my house is gonna look like a petting zoo and a circus. Starting a circus tent starting on, well, Wednesday maybe. We're adding 6 children, 2 adults, 3 dogs, and a cat to this mix. It is going to be all sorts of fun. So while everybody, well, I'll just go ahead and start. So my name is Erron. I am joining Amanda tonight. Y'all, I want to start tonight a little bit different than normal. I want to do something unusual. And the first thing that I want to do is I am going to challenge each and every one of you to, I want to see your face. I promise you I'm not going to screenshot this. I'm asking all of you, please do not screenshot it, but I want to see your face. Everybody has their name up. Everybody has maybe this great photo. You're looking at me right now. If you're looking at me right now, you'll see my hair is done fancy. Well, not really, but it's done. And I have some great sunglasses on, and I've got this perfect smile in my picture. When you're looking at it, come on, tell me, isn't that a beautiful smile? Give it up. Let's just say it. Come on, it is. Okay, so let's talk about this. So I'm not going to let you see me quite yet. And the reason I'm not going to let you see me yet is because I have a purpose and a point behind what I am here to tell you. That picture, that profile picture of me, although I'm not like dressed to the nines, I probably honestly have on a t-shirt, my hair is done. I probably used a filter to get that look. But you guys, the reality is some of you still aren't letting me see your face. Come on, let me see your face. It's okay. I promise I'm not doing any screenshots. Some of you don't, because you guys are like, I look a hot mess. I promise you there's a point. We all do. We all work this way, okay? So, and some of you, I see some of you like fixing your hair, trying to look at yourself, make sure you're not looking too bad. You guys, there's a purpose. I promise I would not ask you to do this. Heather, I have no idea how to turn your camera on. To the bottom left corner, it says start video maybe. So if you're just joining us, I want you to show me your face. Let me see a picture of you. Don't let me just see your picture. I want to see your face. I want to see your smile. Jessica, hello, good evening. Hello, everyone. So I see more than 50% of you, at least right now I can see. I'm not able to look through screens. Okay, so the purpose behind this is, some of you right now, you're looking at yourself, your reflection, and you're going, oh my gosh, I look a hot mess. I would never go live like this. I would never do a Zoom like this. Holy crap, woman, what are you talking about? What do you mean it's okay to be you? Here's what I mean. Being you and being authentic, that is what people want. People want relatability. People want to be able to look at you and go, okay, great. Now, there are some people on this team, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I look at them 100% of the time and I'm like, damn, I wish I looked that good, because they probably do. Like, they jump out of the shower sparkling, and that's just them. That's their personality. That's who they are, and that's okay. But if you're not one of those people, you guys, stop letting the filter of life stop you from achieving what God has you destined to become. You look in the mirror and you see something that's not good enough because something society has taught you is wrong. But the reality is, what you've allowed society to teach you is something that you need to recreate. You need to revisit the conversation that you have with yourself day in and day out, and look at yourself and remember just whose child you are. You need to remember just what you were created for. You guys, I don't care, and I'm going to say this because I can. I don't care if you are blind, literally, and when you look at the camera, your eyes are looking in a completely different direction, because my niece, who's a promoter on here, who is blind, and when she takes a selfie, she's looking a different direction than what the camera is. And she said to me just the other day, and Ange, I'm sorry I'm putting you on blast. She said, I hate these pictures because they look so weird. But you guys, what you're doing, what you're showing, who you're being, I hope is you. Because I want people to relate to you. Because if you attract somebody who isn't like you, and you don't have anybody like that person on your team or in your league, I will say, and I don't mean that like a societal, whatever. I say that because we attract what we are. So why not try to be you, or don't even try, like just be Hot Mess Express, be the conductor. I'm okay with that. You know, before I started this live, I decided I was going to throw this thing on because I've got some grays up here that I didn't want y'all to see. I'm going to let it go tonight because I want to be authentically me, because I want you guys to see that it's okay. If you jump out of the shower and you're sparkling and you look amazing every moment of every day, kudos to you. I tell my children that these grays are actually, I'm turning into a unicorn, and they're proud when I pull them out for them. So I want to take a dive into what my day has looked like, my evening in the last 20 minutes, okay? And I promise there's a point to this, okay? And I warned Amanda, I said, I promise you, if I appear drunk, I'm not drunk. But if I appear drunk, I promise there's a purpose, okay? So the first thing that I want to say, here, look, hold on, I gotta grab a couple things. Okay, so let's start here. My son came down. I have 3 kids, you guys. I have a 2-year-old, a 7-year-old, and an 11-year-old. And of course, my 2-year-old, I got into bed without a hitch. My 7-year-old just needed a drink about 7 minutes ago. My 11-year-old wanted to carry on a conversation about life, just, you know, an extensive conversation after I said I needed you to go to bed because I've got a Zoom to do, okay? I gave my son a melatonin chew. I also was simultaneously eating fruit snacks. Guess what I did? I took myself 2 of these melatonin chews. So right behind those melatonin chews, I chugged a Pure. Why? Because I knew I wouldn't make it through if I didn't. And then my anxiety got the best of me because I was like, damn, this is going to be a hot mess. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I filled this bad boy up. Yep, did that too. So I'm going to tell you, this is my life. And if anything that I am saying to you right now is something you can relate to, stick with me. I promise you, we're going somewhere, okay? You are going somewhere big, okay? You are going somewhere big because I know that if you can be you, unapologetically be who you were made to be, you are going to go to great lengths to create a life that you deserve. Some of you think this woman's out of her mind, and I might be just a little bit. But the thing that I can tell you that I know is I have fun 99% of the time wherever I am, okay? And the reason that I do is because at some time, I like to ask for donuts. I like to ask for all sorts of things. At some time in life, I realized that other people's opinions no longer made a difference on my life. In 2012, I was introduced to this industry and I thought it was a complete scam. I'll be totally honest. I knew there was no way that you could make legitimate money in this industry because I had watched my sister in a makeup company lose tons of money. I saw her invest a ton of money into product and inventory, and she never got that money out. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, I normally don't watch comments, so if I don't, I apologize. But I'm glad I saw that one. So I watched my sister lose money in this makeup company, and I was certain that every single company was out there was like that. The reason that I actually started in the industry was because I thought it could help me find a job. I left my career to follow my husband's dream of being a naval officer. And I left a really good career. We took a 6-figure pay cut, but I did it so he could chase his dream. Everybody said, Erron, have you lost your mind? I said, maybe, but at least I'm going to be a whole family. I didn't know how we were going to make it financially. I literally used to say, and I remember the day my daughter recited this back to me, it broke my heart. But I remember I used to say, we may be living in a box down by the river. And I said it tongue in cheek. But at some point along the way, she heard it. And the reality was that was something I was believing. And even though I said it jokingly, I thought we were someday going to be living in a box down by the river because we couldn't afford to live. And I don't mean to live a luxurious life. I mean to live, to put groceries in my kids' bellies. I mean to keep a roof over our head. I mean to keep the electric on and to have a vehicle. It didn't have to be fancy, but to have a vehicle to be able to transport my children. I didn't know how we were going to do it. And I remember when I quit that job, I contemplated separating my family physically to where my husband could follow his dream, but we would stay back so I knew that I had a job. But I decided not to do that for whatever reason. We prayed and prayed and prayed, and we said, God, whatever is in your will, we will accept it, and we're going to follow it. And when he made that decision, I finally had to accept, Erron, this is God's will here. We have to follow. So we did. I had no idea what was coming for me. In the next 4 months, I learned a life that I never knew, and that was being a mom. I was always a career woman. I always worked from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. I knew putting my kids in daycare at 6 weeks, taking them at 6 o'clock in the morning and picking them up at 5:30 p.m. That was my life. And if that's your life and you love that life, that is perfectly, wonderfully, that is great for you. And it was great for me until I learned there was something else out there. And then all of a sudden, I said to my husband in August of 2012, I said, babe, I don't want to go back to work, but I know I have to. He looked at me like I was crazy. So I kept looking for jobs and I kept applying for jobs, but I couldn't shake it from my heart. I didn't know what I was going to do. Finally, because nobody was calling me back through these applications, finally I saw all this stuff about this industry on Facebook. And I thought, well, surely everybody's posting about this. So I might as well message this person. Let me see what it's about. Somebody is going to know somebody who can help me get a job. And well, the rest is kind of history, but I started in the industry. I learned that you could actually make real money. I saw people making real money. And all of a sudden, my life changed in a very drastic way. I no longer was worried about how am I going to pay my bills, but was able to worry about how I could help others pay their bills. I no longer was worried about what am I going to do, but I could focus on how I could help others who were in that same spot. Life changed for me. And then 3.5 years later, it changed for me again. And about 3 years ago, actually, I saw a chick I was in Florida, and I saw this girl. She was in the same conference center as me, and I saw her breaking down. And I heard what she was saying. And what she was saying was about her dad, who had been diagnosed with cancer. And I didn't have it in me to walk over to that girl that was breaking down, but I did have it in me to find that person on Facebook. I had just lost my dad, and it was horrible. It broke my heart to see that because I remembered that pain. I remembered what that felt like, and I wanted to go wrap my hands around her, but here's where I wasn't myself, and I've always kicked myself for it. I forgot to be me because I was afraid of what that person was going to think about me if I walked over and just wrapped my arms around her. So I didn't do it, but I made sure to find her, to tell her she was on my heart, and to let her know that I was praying for her. What happened over the course of the next couple years, I can say has only been a part of God's plan, because I wouldn't be where I am had I not reached out to that person. Amanda saw me struggling tremendously last year in like March. And she messaged me and she said, Erron, I hate seeing you like this. We became close. I would say pretty close we became over that time. And she reached out to me and she said, Erron, I hate to see you struggle. You're not your positive, upbeat, happy self. What's going on? Like, are you all right? She didn't try to recruit me. She simply said, are you okay? I said, not really. I don't know what's wrong. And I was struggling tremendously with postpartum depression, y'all. And she said, I'm going to send this to you. I want you to try it. Just promise me you're going to try this. I said, I'm not interested in that. You know, you've heard bad things about it. You've heard things. You're going to believe those things, right? So she sent it to me. And then one day I finally said, I don't know what I'm waiting on. What if it works? What if what she's posting is real? So I finally decided I had nothing to lose. And then my days of spending 20 to 22 hours in bed, hoping that my baby would stay in bed with me because I was struggling so hard with postpartum depression, all I wanted to do was sleep. I didn't even want to wake up from that. All of a sudden, the first day that I tried it, I was awake. And not only was I awake, but I showered and I had makeup on before my kids went to school. And the second day, it happened again. That was 2 showers in less than 24 hours, y'all. That might sound ridiculous, but that was a big deal for me right then. And I was up at the hospital. My husband works there. I was up at the hospital before 9 a.m. He was like, what do you have going on? What did I not, are we supposed to go in somewhere? What's wrong? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, I mean, like, what are you doing? I said, what do you mean? He goes, you have makeup on, Erron. You're out of bed. Like, what is going on? Because the reality was he was so used to me being in bed in pajamas when he left for work and in the same dang position when he got home. I promise there's a reason I'm sharing this with you. And then the third day came. And I called Amanda and I said, Amanda, first day and the second day, I was convinced that they were a placebo. The third day, I'll be damned if it's a placebo. I don't care. How much is it going to cost me? Forget it. I don't care how much it's going to cost me. Tell me what I need to do. She was at conference at the time. I said, I don't care. Sign me up. I signed up with a couples pack. Now I'm going to tell you, I was in a previous company at the time. I was the second highest rank in that previous company. I was making really good money. So the idea of me becoming a promoter with Lavelle, it was not on my radar at all. You can ask Amanda. I was like, I'm just going to be a customer. I am not interested in being a promoter. No way, no how. This is not for me. I'm good. But I signed up to be with a couples pack because I was like, I feel really good. I'm going to make sure my husband feels good too. Right? Because when you're struggling with depression, you think everybody around you is unhappy too, right? Or like maybe you're the reason they're unhappy. I don't know. Anyway, so then Amanda Franklin, if that was a bottle of vodka that you were drinking straight out of, you are my spirit animal. Oh, dang. That would have been way cooler if it was. Anyway, sorry. So I bought the couples pack. You guys, I ran out of the couples pack almost instantly. How? Why? Because everybody I knew, I was like, oh my God, you guys, like, People were like, what the heck is going on with you? Like, you are happy again? Like, you are Erron. Where did you go? I remember a girl on my team was like, what the hell have you had today? Whatever it is, I want it. What drug are you on? And I was like, I'm not on anything. And she was like, Erron, I've not seen you this happy in a super long time. What's going on? And I, of course, at the time I was like, oh, nothing. I'm good. I'm good. So why do I share that with you? Because there's somebody on because there's somebody on your team right now that is going through what I just shared with you, that perhaps you have dismissed as a non-worker, or perhaps somebody that you know is going through something that you are simply giving them space because you think that that's what they need, when really they need you to reach out to them. And maybe, just maybe, there's somebody on your Facebook or in your contacts or on your Instagram that you know has gone through something absolutely life-changing, that maybe you're praying for them silently. Maybe you're not reaching out. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to redact it. Your next rock star is waiting on you to get over yourself and reach out to them. Here's the thing. Your next rock star, the one that will take you to 200K, that will take you to the Millionaires Club, they're really your next save. They're really the person that needs you to save them from themselves. But if you allow yourself to stand in the way of stepping out and saying, hey, Amanda, I saw you. I'm really sorry that you're going through that. And to share vulnerability with that person and to make that connection with that person, you're hurting you. But more importantly, you're hurting them. Amanda and I did a Zoom, just her and I, last week. And I know there's some people on my team here. And again, like I told Amanda, I'm not saying this for you to feel sorry for me. I'm not saying this for you to tell me I'm a good leader. Please don't. I'm saying this because the reality is I fell back in to a depression not too long ago. My life has been spiraling so rapidly with so many different things. I have struggled to keep all the plates above. But what I have done is sacrificed myself to try to ensure that I'm not sacrificing anybody else. I've known all along what I needed to be able to be a good leader and to be able to be a good business owner. But I haven't asked for it because I don't want to hinder anyone else and I don't want to bother anybody. And frankly, if I don't say it out loud, it's not true, right? Like if I don't speak it into existence, it's not happening. But that's not true, because really, if I didn't speak it into existence, I was saying it right here. I was like, man, I'm not being a very good leader. Like, I've really failed my team. And I really believe that I have shortchanged my team because I haven't been willing to step out of my own way. But my team knows that I am there for them no matter what I'm going through. Amanda said last week, if you're in the ER, you're not doing this Zoom. Yes, I will. I will be there to do the Zoom because I'm not going to let you down. I'm not in the ER. There's nobody sick around. I mean, whatever, within reason. But you guys, what I need to be told, this is what you're doing. It sounds like I'm not a very good business owner, right? How many of you feel that way? Like, really? You should be self-sufficient. You should be able to do this. Yeah, well, maybe I should, but I haven't been. My anxiety has gotten the best of me. I'm afraid people are looking at me. People really don't care what I'm doing. Let's be real. My lives Like, I started talking myself out of doing lives because nobody wants to know what I'm doing. Nobody cares. How many of you talk yourself out of lives at time or talk yourself out of posting them publicly because you are scared that people don't want to see it, or what will people say? What will they say? What if every single person watching that live thinks you're freaking nuts, but one person? And that one person, what if that's the person that you're supposed to save? What if that's the person that you're supposed to reach out to and help? What if you doing that live gave somebody hope to put one foot in front of the other tomorrow? What if that one live text message, phone call, Facebook message, Instagram message, phone call, God forbid we pick up our flippin' phones and call somebody? What if that one action stopped someone from ending their life that night? Guys, we have to think about the world that we live in every single day. We have to think about the fact that what the challenges that you and I face, sometimes we just think that our struggles are ours alone, and they're individualized. But I can promise you, not more than 5 minutes before this live, I got a message from one person telling me that their child spilt an entire soda in their Coach purse. I got another message from another person who said that who didn't say, who I know is preparing to evacuate because of this hurricane coming through. Her husband is deployed. She has 3 children and 2 dogs. No, excuse me, 3 children, 3 dogs. And she's evacuating. And her husband's deployed. Money doesn't grow on trees. Groceries don't just appear. Maybe your house payment is late. Your rent is late. Maybe your mortgage is about to be in foreclosure, or you've gotten an eviction notice. Maybe your car has been repossessed, or maybe it's about to be repossessed. If you're not walking that life, if you're not following any of what I just said, I promise you, and I am 100% certain, there is somebody, multiple somebodies on your Facebook right now, or Instagram, whatever the heck social media platform that you use, that are walking that dark valley right now. And in the beginning, when I was contemplating separating my family to be able to provide a house, to be able to physically separate us, just to be able to provide that and to put groceries on my table, I promise you that what you have in front of you, the opportunity that you have in front of you, promise 100% hands down without a shadow of a doubt, it is capable of providing everything that you need, everything that you want. There is one thing about it that isn't, and it will not do it for you. You are going to have to get up and show up if you want this business to be that for you. If you want to sit back and say, okay, cool, like I've got this business, oh, it's not working for me. Are you working for it? And if you are working for it, let me ask you this. If it's not working, have you reached out and asked for help? And not just asked for help, But ask for help from somebody who you know is having success. Now, the thing is sometimes company likes misery, misery likes company. I don't even know that saying. It's something along them lines. And sometimes you reach out to somebody and they're like, oh yeah, it didn't work for me either. And maybe they're with another company now. Maybe they're trying to recruit you to another company. Or maybe they forgot to ask somebody that it was actually working for. And here's the thing, it can work for anybody. You guys, I have seen success in this company and in this industry across the board for people that I'm like, holy buckets. Like high school education, no high school education, elementary school education, PhD, law school. I don't care what your education is. I don't care what your employment background is. It doesn't matter. The question is, do you have the grind and grit to do it? Are you willing to reach out to somebody who is successful and say, hey, so I know this is going to sound really crazy. I'm not having much success. I'm getting really frustrated. I'm really burnt out. I have no idea what I'm doing. Y'all, I need some help and I need somebody to guide me. Now, the thing is you have to be careful who you ask that question to, but most importantly, I know this is a tricky part of it. The most important part is when somebody says, hey, Erron, when you send all that information in the first message, or when you send, hey, girl, have you heard about Thrive? You should totally check out my website. Here's what we do. Blah, 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 blah. In your first message, and if I tell you that's not working for me, and then the person you go to says, you're giving too much information, that's called verbal diarrhea, and you're vomiting all over those people, you guys, what they're saying to you is cut that out. Quit doing that. And here's what's going to tell you if you're going to be successful or unsuccessful, okay? And I mean this with all the love in my heart. If you go to that leader and you say, hey, here's what I've been doing, and they say, hey, don't do that anymore. That's not very effective. Try this. And the next message that you send out says, hey, have you ever heard of Thrive? And you say the exact same thing that you've been saying, you're not going to be successful. Period. Exclamation mark. You have got to be willing to change what your approach is if what you were doing is not working. I'm not saying that that won't work for you. But if it's not working and you're not willing to make a change, you're not going to find success, y'all. Like, that's just logic, matter of logic. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert, but I am going to sit here and tell you, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different results, you're going to get the same results you've gotten. Okay? So that's the first thing. The other thing is you've got to show up. There are 68 of you on the Zoom right now. How many of you, is this the first Zoom that you have been on in a month? Ever? In the last 2 weeks? And I you don't necessarily have, this is more of a rhetorical question. If you want to totally put yourself on blast, I accept that. I'll raise my hand proudly. Like, not proudly, but that's the reality. Like, I haven't been on, you guys. I haven't shown up. And you know what sucks about it? I want my team to be successful. And I tell my team, you should do this. It will really help you, because it does. But I have not been on the Zooms. But I tell my team to do it. Guess what? I mean, I see a few of them on right now, and y'all, I commend you. And I think you're amazing. And my team, you guys, I know not a lot of you are on my team, but I've got the best team out there. We're all kind of on the same team. So you're all amazing. But my team is amazing. And you know what? I guarantee you that if I start showing up, and this is why I'm going to start showing up better and more, because they deserve to be 200Ks. I don't give a dang what I am. But they deserve to be 200Ks. Some of you right now are busting your hiney in this business. You are working your tush off, right? Some of you are in the 12K challenge. You guys know what I'm talking about. The 12K challenge. Some of you are in that, and you guys are putting in some work right now. Some of you have decided to withdraw from that. Some of you said, I can't commit to it. You guys, whether you've committed to that, you've withdrawn from it, if you're contemplating quitting it, if you're contemplating starting some kind of push group, I have one request of you. And my one request of you, will you please do yourself a favor and do the best that you can with what is in front of you? If you started the 12K group and you can't do it, I have one girl on my team who I wish she was on the Zoom right now. She's in a different country, and it just was too much for her. And she was not feeling very good about herself. Total time change. She's on the other side of the pond, on the other side of the ocean. Now, I'm not saying, I told her when she came to me, I said, don't quit. Let yourself be removed from the group. Give it your all. You guys, if she employs, and Amanda and I talked about this, and if she employs just what she's learned in the first 5 days, she's killing it. If you're not in that push group, somebody on your team is. Watch what they're doing, y'all. They don't have to tell you. Watch their pages. Employ what they're doing. Go live. Be vulnerable. Set up 3-way chats. It's scary. What if I say the wrong thing? What if I look a hot mess? What if I take a melatonin at 5 to 9 right before I'm supposed to start a Zoom, and then I chug a Pure and follow it with a shot of vodka? What if everything in life feels like it's all going downhill? Oh, and there is sparkling seltzer in here too, just in case anybody was trying to figure out. It's not water. But what if life is spiraling so fast out of control that you feel like you are running a damn circus from your bed? Then run that circus and put a smile on your face. If you need to take a shot of vodka, take your shot of vodka. Get on your Facebook or Instagram and do the thing. Do your live. Message the person. Quit allowing yourself, and if you are a recovering alcoholic or anything like that and you do not drink, please know I am not encouraging alcoholism to be successful in this business. It works for me. So, what I want you to know is you were made for success in this world. I promise you. No matter how dark things may seem, look at my screen right now. It is pitch black. There is no way that it can get any darker, y'all. No matter if you message Amanda 3 weeks ago and say, Amanda, I don't want you to worry about me. I know I'm going to be okay. But tonight I had thoughts about my family being better off with my life insurance money than with me. I don't care what you're going through. You are bigger than every single hurdle in front of you. I don't care how scared you are. Let that fear fuel you. You guys, if somebody has told you quit with the excuses, I'm here to tell you, excuses may be somebody's choice of words, but my choice of word is reason. My babies are my excuse 99% of the time. I will never apologize for my children needing me, and I will never put my children second. Never again. I've done it. I'll never do it again. My children and my family will forever be what my priority is, and I will never once apologize for that. But I'm going to tell you something. Regardless of those things, I have time that I can make my business work. I have time that I can be a good leader. I have time that I can do self-development. I have time to be a better leader. It is up to you whether you are going to sit back and say, this Black journey that I'm walking is scary. But what's scarier than what I'm going through? Right? It can't get much scarier. I mean, it can. Actually, it can get a whole lot scarier, y'all. But what are you going to do to make it better? Continuing to do the same crap that you're doing right now, if it's not getting you where you want to be, it's not working for you. There's nothing about it that's working for you. But you make reasons, and perhaps at that point you are making excuses. And then somebody calls you on it and you get upset and you get angry and you say, but you don't understand what I'm going through. You're right. I don't understand what you're going through because your journey is yours and yours alone. And nobody, not a soul, even if it's your twin sister or brother, can understand the walk that you are taking because it is yours. It is your emotions. It is your feelings. It is everything you tie into it. But people can relate, people can empathize, and people can sympathize. And when you are walking that journey in that darkness alone and unwilling to bother someone else with it, you are hurting them probably more than you are hurting yourself, because somebody out there needs to know that the darkness that they are facing is one which you are on the same journey and one that you are going to conquer together. The scary place that you're at, somebody is in a scarier place. When you're feeling sad about your circumstances, I want you to think about the teammate of mine who last week, her boyfriend died in bed and she found him. And their 3 kiddos and her now are without. I want you to think about the person, the family that lost 2 sweet girls and a mama who were very close to our Thrive family. I want you to think about the people who are going through losing a parent, losing a child, losing a best friend. The journey that you're on for as alone as you feel, you guys, you're not alone. And by reaching out to people who you see who are struggling, who you know need love, you don't have to recruit them. When Amanda came to me and said, I'm sending you this to try, maybe she had a hidden agenda that she was like, I'm going to get Erron hooked on this and she's going to join my team, but I don't think so. And our products do the work for us. We just have to get them into people's hands. Amanda was going through her own things. She didn't have to send that to me, but she did. She didn't have to listen to me when I was feeling down. She didn't have to say, Erron, I'm not going to say anything to anybody, but I need to know you're going to be okay, and I need to see you making steps to being better, not doing better, but me being okay. because she was concerned about me. If you're in a place right now where you need to be better for your children, for your grandchildren, for your spouse, maybe for your parents, maybe you don't have kids or parents, and maybe you're going through a really dark spot. I'm going to say what I say to my children, and I mean this with this love. If I say it to my kids, I promise you it's not meant mean. You need to get it together. You need to figure out what you need, and you need to put one foot in front of the other. Take quitting and giving up off the table and give it all you can. I'm not telling you to give it 24 hours a day. I'm telling you, if you have 35 minutes a day to give to your business, don't sit and scroll Facebook for 35 minutes and think that's working. It's not, you guys. It's not at all. I want you to take that 35 minutes and figure out what you're going to do that's income producing with it. And that might mean you're going to spend 10 minutes messaging people that you know are going through things. But you need to be intentional about if you have limited time, which so many of you do, be intentional about what you're doing. Because once you start being intentional and once you start pulling yourself out of where you're at, that smile might begin to emerge. And that smile might brighten up a room. And that smile, even if it's not the most real smile, even if you're looking in the mirror and you're forcing yourself to paint a smile on, the more you do that, the more that smile is going to become more genuine. And the more you might just celebrate with a pure at 9:02 p.m. Or the more you might just reach out to somebody and say, hey, Amanda, I think you know it. I think you know I'm nuts. I know you might think that I'm nuts, but I've been thinking about you and I can't get you off my mind. You have got to join me in this crazy journey. Let it all loose. Be you. Have fun. But most of all, the self-talk that you're telling yourself that you're not good enough, you're not capable, you're not deserving, and you're not worthy, cut that crap out. Let it go. Do not repeat that monologue in your head no more. Quit. Because you are deserving. You are capable. You are worthy. And you're super flippin' blessed. What if you, Amanda, I'm turning it over to you, but what if you are the reason that somebody puts one foot in front of the other tonight?
Gosh darn you, Erron. Why you gotta get me crying, man? I just love her. Don't y'all love her? And look, she just mutes herself at that point. Lordy, my goodness. Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you every single thing that Erron said. I mean, I hope it really spoke to your heart. We've had a lot of really um, deep conversations, personal conversations. And Erron will tell you, I'm the first that, you guys, like, I'm an internal red. A lot of people don't see that side of me because I'm very hard on myself. However, I'm very yellow outwardly to my team. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm the kind of person that's just how I am. And I want to love people through whatever they're going through, right? But in doing so, and I had this conversation with somebody that's been with me for quite some time. I'm not sure if she's on tonight, and I don't want to call her out or anything like that. But because she's doing the 12K push. And for those of you guys that are not doing the 12K push, I want to assure you of this. The 12K push is everything that you've probably already seen, but it's just an all-out massive action, and it's being accountable to having it done. And that in itself can be super intense. Okay. It can be super intense. It can be like, holy crap, how am I going to get all this stuff done? And the reason why it feels so overwhelming is because you weren't doing it. So you haven't figured out a routine. You haven't figured out like a smooth sail with it. But once you do, you'll be surprised on how much, like if I sat here and told you guys how much stuff I get done in one day, you would be like, how do you possibly get through all of that? Plus manage to check off 48 ladies that a couple of them are on my team. You know, for one thing, stay on top of chats, do about 30 three-way messages, still talk to a potential customer, and still manage to do homework with my kids and shower my kids and eat and all of the above. And you'd be like, what in the world's this woman doing, right? But I was talking to somebody that's been on my team, and, you know, she hit a rank and then she's just kind of been this, like standing still for a while. And, you know, this push has really, really been helping her. And I said, I'm so sorry if I haven't pushed you enough, because I can tend not to push because I don't want to push anybody away. And she said, no, she was like, I honestly probably would have been gone if you wouldn't have shown me the love that you had shown me. That hit me, man. That hit me hard, because it's like you just want to pour this belief into people that you see in them and that you know it's possible. You guys, the thing is, the reality of it is, and you guys know I'm like such an emotional person, but like the reality of it is like I had every excuse in the book when I joined. So like this kind of push, honestly, I don't know that I would have signed up for when I first joined this industry, because I was working full time. I had a per diem job. I had 2 kids. My husband was on opposite schedules. I didn't know how I was going to manage to do it, but I did know I didn't want that per diem. You know how they say your why has to be so strong that it kicks those excuses to the side, right? And I just wanted to make enough money. So I was like, what do I need to do? And thank you, God, I was smart enough to listen to the people that were at the places I wanted to be at. And I said, what do I need to do to make this? And to be honest, guys, I have never been a home party person. Like, I hate them. I hate them. I don't even have really a local team. I want to be transparent with you guys. If you told me to go and pick up somebody from my team, by golly, I see Jessica on here, I'd have to drive like an hour and a half away. Okay? Like, seriously. Because that's not how I've worked my business. But back when I first started, what do I need to do? You need to have a party, because I was in a party planning company that wasn't a party planning company. So I went and did some parties, and by golly, I wrapped a whole crap load of people and I signed a whole bunch of customers. But my goodness, I was driving around and annoyed. I hated it. I hated every second of it, except for I liked the money. So I just kept on doing it. Like my day off, okay, I'll go wrap people, right? And I mean, honestly, I think I made like $750 in selling wraps, like my first like month and a half, because I had to make my money back. Plus I was like, I'm kind of impulsive. So like if I go at something, I go like really hard at something, and then I crash. So at like 2.5 months into my first business, first of all, I want each one of you guys to know, because I think it's super duper important. I promise I won't be that long, because we're already approaching an hour, but I think it's important for each of you guys to know, because a lot of you guys don't know me that well, and you just say, oh, she's a 200K. Like, what does she know about struggle? But I want each of you guys to know that I was that person when Erron started this tonight that had the car repossessed in front of her kids. Just 2 months before I joined this industry. I was the person that had foreclosure notices on my door when I joined this industry. I used my income tax check to catch up on my house payments, but it was going to be right back in the situation. I was the person that was leaving my baby at 7 weeks old and going to work at leaving 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning, not getting home till 8:30 and not seeing my baby. Okay. Like, I was that person. So for anybody that has like crazy busy lives and never sees their kids and they're doing all this stuff and you feel like you can't do it, quit telling yourself you can't, because you can. All right. So what did I do? I set these goals for myself. Okay, I'm going to make enough a month. I'm going to do enough stuff that helps me make enough a month that I can get rid of that per diem job. Okay. I accomplished that. The next goal I set out for myself, it wasn't even a rank thing, guys. And in fact, I didn't even go like super fast, like rank wise at first. But with consistency creates momentum. Okay. But you got to stick with the consistency is the problem, that most people will consistent, fall off the planet Earth. Then they try to get back into consistent and they got to take 20 steps back to get themselves back in that same, vehicle, right? And every time you take that step back, you've got even farther that you've got to push forward to get that same momentum, because people see that, guys. They see that. But once they see you going and they don't see you slowing down, then they're like, what is this girl doing? What is she doing? She's obviously liking what she's doing. She's obviously having fun. She's obviously making some money, or she wouldn't post about this stupid stuff all the time, right? Like, I'm just being honest. And I remember at like 2.5 months into my first business, after I had accomplished being enough that I could take that per diem job away, I was like, okay, like I have to keep accountable with this so that over the summer I can spend time with my kids and I don't have to work this other job anymore. And that's exactly what I did. It kept me working hard because I didn't want to pick up that per diem job. I wanted to have time with my family. So I started thinking, like, I hate these home parties. How can I get away from these home parties? Like, honestly, and I would do every single Wednesday night, this Working Women's Wednesday. And it was at this bar/restaurant. And it was like all these women would come down and there were different vendors that would set up. And I did that every single Wednesday night for, I can't even tell you how long. But I met people and many of them became promoters. Many of them became customers and so forth. But I stopped doing parties at that time because I hated them. Not that I didn't sign customers, because I did, but I just didn't like them. So then I started playing around with Instagram, and everybody was like, nobody really knew how to work it. And I thought it was just for pictures. And that's when I like really went hard, and I started finding success because I was consistent with it, because I didn't want to do parties. So I spent all that hours after my kids went to bed working on my Instagram, and that was my main focus. Because to be honest, guys, I was just throwing up on people on Facebook because I didn't know how to expand my network. I didn't know to grow, like to join groups. I didn't know to add friends. I didn't know that it wasn't weird to like add people I went to high school with. You guys, I read articles all the time. There's one on the fan page yesterday or today about a girl that friended somebody that they went to high school with, and thank God they did, because now she shared her testimony on the fan page. And I cannot tell you how many times that has happened to me. In fact, a boy who was like a really big bully in high school, he just messaged me like a month ago because he wanted information. And what if I wouldn't have friended him because I was worried about becoming his friend? Okay. Because he was like a jerk in high school. And what if I thought he was going to be like, make fun of me or, whatever. What if I worried about that? You can't worry about that. And see, here's the difference between me and somebody that's brand new, is that I have done enough personal development to know that what other people think about me is none of my business, and be okay with it. And what I've also done is that it's okay when somebody tells me no, not to take it personal, right? But a lot of you guys, they don't want to send that message because you're like afraid that people are going to like turn you down and you're going to have that rejection. But you have to let go of that fear, because like Erron said, you could be changing somebody's life. So what if that guy wouldn't have messaged me because of the way he was, right? But he messaged me because his girlfriend is interested in the products. Because why? Because he sees me on Facebook. Why? Because when his son had a birthday a couple weeks ago, I wished him a happy birthday, right? Seriously, guys. So all these like little things that seem tedious, like they're not really growing your business, happy birthdays every day, they do. How many of you guys did the birthdays every day this month, right? How many of you guys have reached out and done a 3-way call? How many of you guys have done, I know a shit ton of you have, excuse my language. I know a whole bunch of you have, if you're in that destination to 12K push. All right. How do I know? Because I've been on a lot of them, and I've been checking all these files and seeing all this progress. And I got to tell you, if you're on my team, I'm just going to put this out there. If you're on my team, we're so going to dominate it. But, I've been thoroughly inspired, impressed. I've seen people say, I don't know how I'm going to get it done, and they still manage to get it done. And I want each one of you guys to realize that you can push yourself so much farther than you can. Now, am I telling you that it's going to be easy? Am I going to tell you that you don't feel overwhelmed? Am I making those points? Am I trying to validate what I'm saying versus how you're going through or what you're, listen, here's the thing. I got a message from somebody today that her husband had a heart attack. And I said, listen, family always comes first. All right. Your husband, your kids, your wife, your whatever, whatever. Your family, your father, your mother, they always come first. Period. End of story. That is not an excuse. Okay? That is not an excuse. That is just your circumstances right now. You got to quit allowing that to make you feel like you failed. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you, if my husband had a heart attack, I'll be damned if I was worried about doing this. I'm just being honest, okay? And those of you that do, now don't get me wrong, like I go to the hospital and he's all good, then I'm going to be sitting there working, busting my ass and getting it done, right? Like I'm just being real. But my first priority is once I know he's okay, it's like, sure, yeah, I'll be messaging somebody and let them know. But I wouldn't be worried about it if I end up getting like a strike or, whatever. Don't worry about that kind of stuff, because I want you guys to understand something. The point of this destination to 12K, and for those of you all that aren't in it, I just want to encourage you that if you do your birthdays every day, if you start working on 3-way calls every day, if you start working on getting people through the funnel, if you start doing personal development, journaling, if you start reaching out, if you start going live, like these are the things that you're seeing people do. The more you do it, the better you're going to do in this business. Okay. I know this weekend we just had an Instagram training, and I'm going to be honest. Like I know Julie's on here right now, and it totally was like, whoo, it was like this creative energy that comes over you once you figure it out, because you get to share you, and you get to actually like and comment on people that you actually like and are interested in. Isn't that funny how that works? And it's so weird that we don't make those connections at first. And I want to encourage each of you to find yourself within your business and stop putting a time limit on when you want to get to your destination, and just start cracking out goals like left and right of things that you want to be proud of, reachable things. I did all my birthdays today, and then I reached out to 5 people I've been wanting to talk to. I listened to personal development. I journaled this morning. I journaled tonight. I'm writing down things that are grateful for. I'm doing all these things. And I promise you, as long as you're taking action, you are going to grow. Your network's going to grow. The way that you post is going to start to change. Why? Because you're putting more thought into it. I want to tell you all a little secret. It's not about having all the right things to say. Quit that. I don't know what to say. I throw up on people. I hear that all the time. If you guys saw my conversations with people, you would be like, this girl is crazy. Why? Because I am straight up. Like this girl messaged me and told me she wanted to lose 73 pounds. I said, good, let's get you started on burn. I knew what she wanted. She told me. She said, okay, how much is it? Where do I go? I said, here, I'm going to send you my website. I said, now here, I can offer you XYZ credits, right? Because I have credits. So I was like, I can offer you, because I choose to use my credits for my customers. I can offer you XYZ credits if you place an order tonight. If you're not going to place an order tonight, just let me know, and I'll hold on to those credits until Friday. And if you do decide, then I'll transfer them over to you. If you don't, then I'll just give them to the next person. Easy as that. Okay. I'm getting a follow-up date. Did you guys hear that? I got a follow-up date. So on Friday, I'm going to message her and I'm going to say, listen, girl, Are you going to go ahead and take that? Because if not, I'm going to go ahead and give it to the next person. What's that do? That creates urgency. That shows that I want to help her get started on her 73 pounds. And you better believe when I follow up, I'm going to say, girl, you ready to drop that 73 pounds or what? Let's do this. That's going to be my follow-up. It's not going to be, hey, are you ready to place that order? It's going to be, girl, you ready to get that 73 pounds? Start listening to people. Be a friend first, and the sales and the business will all follow. Okay? Stay consistent. Be a friend. You hear it all the time, but I can promise you, consistency and friendship are, honestly, that's what's built my business. When I joined Lavelle, I was working full time. I was going through a very horrible time in my life. My kids were both struggling in school. My youngest had ADHD undiagnosed. My middle school, my oldest daughter was in her 8th grade year middle school. And, both of them had just lost a grandparent. Their lives had been flipped upside down. And I could have used the excuse that I was depressed. I was sad. We were broke. I didn't know how I was going to pay the $65,000 in taxes I owed. I was making, an income full time. My husband took a crappy job that had crappy hours. That meant that I didn't see him and our relationship was struggling. And I could have used all of those things as why I didn't do this or why I couldn't. But I knew if I continued doing what I was doing that wasn't working, that I was going to stay in the same hamster wheel. So I chose to go where I saw others excited. I saw others feeling awesome. I decided to give something a try that I didn't think I would like. And then my passion came back, and there was no stopping me because I knew what was possible. And even though I didn't have very many hours during the day, I'd listen to Zooms, I'd listen to calls when I was on my way to work, when I was coming home from work, when I was picking my kids up from school, if I got lucky that day to be able to do so. I would follow up, in between hours of when I was working and when I was sleeping. I would bring minis. Oh my gosh, I cannot even tell you. My whole bag would be full of minis. Why? Because if somebody messaged me when I was at work, I'd say, swing by the hospital on my floor and pick one up. I always had them available. Why? Because I knew if I could just get people to thrive, they would fall in love. So I want you guys to start understanding that the opportunity is right in front of you. And I can tell you, man, I got made fun of when I joined my first company, but I really took a beating when I joined my second. I really took a beating, a lot of judgments. People blocked me. People called me names. People bullied the crap out of me. People saw me fail. Saw me have great success. In my previous company, I was in the top 150 for 15 months prior to my dad passing away. The month he passed away, my income dropped. I lost my dad. I saw, honestly, I'm going to cut this short and I'm done after this. It was the most humbling thing to fail forward that I've ever been through. Honestly, it was. Did it suck? Oh gosh, yes, it did. But it proved that I could come back up. And I'm just going to be honest, guys. After going through something like that, I can honestly say that I am the one that is in control of my success. And I can honestly say that I truly, and this is not to sound cocky, I truly believe that I could be successful anywhere that I went, but I choose to be here.
Amanda,
Uh-huh.
can I say something really quick? You are, and I want everybody that's on this to hear me say this. You are, in fact, in control of your success, and you are equally responsible for and in charge of your failure. So if what you're doing isn't working, make amends and change it.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that sounds like a good note to leave it on. So this week, everybody, Erron, thank you so much, my dear, for spilling your heart and just putting it out there, because so many need to hear it, and they need to know that it's not all sunshines and buttercups all the time, right? And I think it's super important that we don't make it all about sunshine and rainbows, right? We really shouldn't, because it is hard. It's a business. All right? It is hard, but it's worth it. Your job's hard. You guys, that's for another day. That is for another day. If I told you the things that I dealt with on a day-to-day when I was working full-time as a nurse, yeah, that's just another day. That was hard. This is a blessing. Okay? So I love you all. I hope everybody has a great night. I did record this, so I will be putting it up, and I'll put it under the comments on the pages. If you're on my team, then I'll put it in the files. Night, guys. Thank you for spending time with us. Have a good week. I forgot to say that.